What kind of team can I draft with the first overall pick in a 10-man PPR league? This is the final one. We have now hit all the spots in a 10-man league. Time to move on to the 12s. But first, we are drafting from the 1.01. If I'm drafting from the 1.01, I am taking Ja'Marr Chase every single time. Bijan Robinson is not a bad shout. We know he has the upside of finishing as the #1 player in fantasy this year. I like Ja'Marr because, one, I don't think there is a better QB wide receiver connection than that of Ja'Marr and Joe Burrow. And on top of that, the Bengals defense has not drastically improved from last season, where they were having to throw the ball to Ja'Marr because they're down by 50 points. That could easily happen again. Basically, guys, there have been no signs, or there is no real reason to believe that Ja'Marr Chase is going to regress from last season. Another reason why I take Ja'Marr every time is I actually like the running backs you are able to snag up from the 1.01. All right, well, someone just picked Josh Allen in round 2, so we might have someone fall to us. With the 1.01, guys, you are picking back-to-back, similar to the 10. This is a huge pro if you know how to use it, but a huge con if you don't. The thing about the 1.01, you have the most control over your own draft out of any position in the entire draft. However, the 1.01 is by far the easiest pick to mess up due to the fact that you are picking back-to-back. Then you're not picking for 20 picks. So you really have to know who you're going to get. Drake London is on the board. I'm not picking him solely from the fact that he will never be here in a real draft. Some people are, I guess, like picking stupid people in this draft. Anyways, we have JT and Jacobs, who I have seen be here on the board. Kyron is a good shout. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Josh Jacobs here. Now we go back to back. Would I love to take Drake London and make a stack team? Yes. Once again, I'm trying to simulate a real draft here. What I'm going to do with this pick, I am going to go and pick Lamar Jackson. Now, I know this is strange. I know this is different from a lot of the other drafts I've done with a guy like Chase Brown right there, with a guy like Ladd McConkey right there. But trust me, guys, you have to be careful with these picks because you are not going to be picking for another 20 turns. The board is going to go fast. So I know it's very tempting to grab the guys who are right at the top of the board, but you really have to think long term with the 1.01 because it's going to be a long time before you're up to pick again. The reason that I love this is because now we have secured a top RB, a top wide receiver, and a top QB. Therefore, as we get into these later picks, now we're not going to have to draft a RB2 or wide receiver 2 value player to be our wide receiver 1. This is what I mean why you got to be careful and fill out your spots fast because it goes a long time for you to pick again. When I said earlier that I like the 1.01 for running backs, I mean this round. The 4 or 5 turn is what I'm talking about. You could easily have a guy like Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, all right there at the 4 or 5 turn. So